Díagwita Cordia. Hello friends. And if you're returning, thank you so much for your support. And if you're new here, I'm really pleased that you clicked on this video and I hope you enjoy watching. Now, as you can see, today I'm in the kitchen and I'm going to be making this wonderful chicken korma in the slow cooker. You couldn't do anything easier and it's absolutely delicious. It's a recipe that I picked up a while back from Taming Twins when I first got my slow cooker and I was looking for recipes. And this one is just foolproof, basically. So easy and always turns out delicious. And as they say, it's healthier than a takeaway because you know what's going into it, and also a lot cheaper. So stay tuned if you think you'd enjoy this content. Now I'm going to start by chopping up these 4 chicken breast boneless fillets. And I always do them quite easily and quite quickly. I just cut them in half down the centre. So I have 2 fairly large ones and 2 smaller ones. But this will be plenty for 4 people or for 2 days dinner, I guess, for myself and my husband. We'll get today and tomorrow. And I have to admit, I always find with curries or anything, stews, that the second day it's usually nicer. Somehow it has absorbed all the flavours. So I'll go ahead and I'll get this done. I know all the info about using plastic boards and that it can end up in your food and contaminate it. And I am going to look into getting a different one. I don't like cutting raw meat personally on a wooden board, but I may look into getting a stainless steel one in the near future. But for now, this is what I've used for years and this is what I'm using today. Before anybody makes the comments, I am aware of that. Now I do everything in the slow cooker, so there's a lot less wash up, I guess, because of that. So I'm coming in, I'm going to dump the chicken in there, as you can see. And I have roughly about 1.5 tablespoons of flour here, just all-purpose flour. I may use it all and I may not. I'd say that's about 1 tablespoon and I have a feeling that that's going to be enough. Excuse me, but if I want to add more after, I will. Next, I'm going to add just some of these crushed chilies. You can do that to taste. I like things fairly hot, but my husband doesn't, so I won't go overboard on it. You can leave them out altogether if you don't like them. I'm also adding some Madras or whatever curry powder, mild, hot. You know, you do you. The Madras is fairly a mild one, but I do like to add a good bit of it. So I guess basically probably 1/2 teaspoon of the chilies, less if or none if you want. Maybe 1 teaspoon of the curry powder. I put a bit more. And then the next thing I'm using is the ground almonds. And the flour and the flour just thickens the coconut milk when you add it, when it's been cooked. And the ground almonds just gives it that lovely korma kind of a texture that you'll be used to if you ever get it in an Indian restaurant. So basically I'm winging that. I would think you'd want to use maybe 2 tablespoons of that, but it's entirely up to yourself. So I'm just going to get a spoon and I'm mixing, everything is just in there. I'm mixing that through now to coat everything. Yeah, there's more than enough flour in that. So about 1 tablespoon of flour, I would think, is more than enough. But coat it well, so give it a good mix. Also into that now I'm going to add some salt and pepper. So just a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. And again, that's to taste. And afterwards, when you taste it, you can always add more. So don't go overboard at the start. Okay, that's all well coated now. So the next thing I want to do is, I'm coming in with some tomato puree. And again, I'm just adding that good dollop, I'd say a tablespoon. A tablespoon of that I think would be enough. And because that's the end of this tube, I'm just putting the rest of it in there. So yeah, about that much. So I'm going to open my tin of coconut milk. You can use the low fat one if you prefer. It's a good thick creamy one, this. Oops. Just emptying that out. So use whichever brand is your favourite. I find this one from Dunnes Stores delicious and very, very reasonable. And also one of the reasons I like this one is the ingredients in it is just coconut extract, water, and there is a thickener, guar gum. But I have picked up some of the more expensive coconut milks and they have a lot more ingredients in them than this. Now you can probably get ones that are just pure coconut milk as well. But I'm happy enough with this one. So just going to mix that through now again. So just one last little step that I do, it's just my own preference. I want to make this a bit looser in consistency, so I just add a chicken stock cube to some boiling water, about 1/4 of a pint. And I'm just going to dissolve that in the liquid. Maybe it's the different coconut milk that I'm using, but and I know when it's heated it does melt down a bit, but I would rather it be a bit more liquidy than that. And also it gives it a nice flavour, I guess. So there we go. I'm just going to add that straight in. And just mix it through again. That just means that I'll end up with a lot more of the curry sauce afterwards, which I like. It'll still thicken up nicely. So I'm going to just pop that into my slow cooker. The one that I have is a very inexpensive one. It's just the Murphy Richards. I got it on Amazon last year. I'm sure they still have it. If I can find it, I'll link it below. Wasn't an expensive one at all. But what I like about it is you can take this out, and if you want to, you can put it on the hob and you can brown stuff, you know, just so that you don't have to go putting stuff in a frying pan, browning it and transferring it back in. Saves you on wash up. But I'm going to pop the lid on that now. I just want to give the top of it a wipe before I pop the lid on. So pop that lid on, and I am going to turn this on to low for about 6 to 8 hours. So it's early in the morning now, so probably about 7 hours I'll give it. You could cook it on, actually I have that on medium. You could cook it on medium for maybe 4 hours, or on high for, I'm not sure, I've never done it on the high. I just find on the low setting for the longer length of time, I just love the way it turns out, and as I have time for that, then that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to be heading out to the shops and I'll be back later. Now there is just one more thing. It's just 3 of the ingredients that I had there at the start. Haven't gone into this yet. And it's a Garam Massala is number 1. There's Mango Chutney, whichever type you like. It's just a Tesco brand. And Flaked Almonds for on the top after you serve. But just towards the end, maybe the last half hour or so, I'll put in my Garam Masala and my Mango Chutney and put it back on and just leave it cook through. They're just really for seasoning, I guess. And then the ground almonds will just go over the top on serving. So I'll be back later. So this has been on now for approximately 6.5 hours. And yeah, it's looking quite nice. What I want to do now is just come in with the Mango Chutney, and I'm going to add 2 heaped teaspoons into that. Just give it a mix around. And also I'm coming in with the Garam Masala. It's actually a new one. I need to... So again, I'd say about maybe a teaspoon of that is enough, just to flavour it, to give it a good mix. Yep, I just tasted that there. That's perfect. So I'm going to just stick that back on now. Just stick the lid back on there now for maybe another 20 minutes or so. So I've just made some brown rice there, and I'm going to serve up a portion of this delicious chicken korma. And just the last little touch then is I'm coming in with these flaked almonds. And just going to pop a few of those on the top. So this is what I've got, very little effort, and as you can see, let's have a taste and see what it tastes like. Absolutely delicious. Yeah. It's very hot. That is so tasty. So I hope you'll give it a go. If you've enjoyed watching, please like, and if you haven't already, I'd love if you would subscribe. And slán leat, Garam Massala. Thank you for watching.